Hey, everybody, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 177, entitled Reflecting Back on E3 2019, because we'll be taking a look back over, all the stuff that happened at E3 2019. We've already done our reactions and all that stuff, but yeah, it's been a couple weeks. Let's think back to what's happened. It's not as fresh anymore, but we'll be talking about a lot of other stuff, some news, things that's happened over the last couple weeks. But I am not alone. My name is Steve, but I am joined by a regular podcast crew of Barry. Hey, Barry, how's it going?
Hey, Steve. Great to be here.
Yes, great to be here as well. And joining Barry and I is Greg. Hey, Greg.
Hey everyone, looks like I missed the memo on the Zelda shirt tonight.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. That's funny. Yeah, this is one of my new shirts actually. Like I picked that up not too long ago. I don't feel like I've actually worn it on a podcast yet. Even though I think I've had it for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but yeah, just fresh out of the wash. So I actually do wash my clothes. I don't wear the same things without washing them, but I don't know why anybody would think that, but
Doesn't look soaping wet though.
Okay,
Yeah,
true.
no.
I fresh out of the dry rack hanging to dry. That's what I should say, not fresh out of the wash. I think I'm still soaking wet.
There's suds everywhere.
If you guys don't turn into the live show, you just listen to the podcast, you're missing out. Apparently, lots of things that happen. I've been on vacation the last couple weeks. I took a trip down to Hawaii, so I had a lot of time to play some games, a lot more downtime than normal. So my list of games that I've been playing is actually quite long. Normally it's like maybe 1-2 games, but I actually have quite the list tonight. But I'll go ahead and let Barry go first. What have you been playing lately, Barry?
Lately, besides the usual, still Dragalia Lost. I still really enjoy that game. I can't wait for Nintendo to do something with it on the Switch. Put a real full-fledged game, because they just keep adding stuff, and I like the direction it's going. It's just a lot of fun. Pokemon Go, I'm doing my daily stuff, but I'm doing it begrudgingly due to lack of space, and just it's a chore at this point.
You're not accepting my gifts though.
I have no room. I have no inventory room. I have max inventory room on everything, and I just want to go more. It's just a pain.
Really, you just don't want to be best friends with me. I see how it is.
Absolutely, that's clearly it, Steve.
He's trying to send you a message, Steve. He wants you to play Torna instead.
Yeah,
by discouraging you from playing Pokemon
or
Go.
Dragalia Lost is probably
finish Torna. Yeah. And on the Switch, I finally did it. I finally actually purchased a digital game because I had no choice, which was Cadence of Hyrule, because Zelda, I have no choice. And if they put out a physical, which I hope they do, bundled with Crypto the Necrodancer, a la Puzzles and Dragons, I would totally buy it again, absolutely, because I had a lot of fun. And we'll be doing a game chat on it, but I really enjoyed that game, way more than I thought I would, because of the rhythm aspect. But so I did that, and Bloodstained just came today, my Kickstarter edition. So I'm really looking forward to playing that. But until then, I've been finishing up everything in Final Fantasy XIV, because Shadowbringers drops this Friday, and that will absorb my life for the next 8 to 10 months, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. New expansions, lots of new content, lots of excitement. And the community's all ready for it, and our community's all ready for it. So I'm just looking forward to playing with my friends.
Cool. And the physical community is all ready for it. It looks like you said that it's all around New York City, if you can tell.
Oh yeah, Square is bumping a lot of money into this game, and hopefully there's still talks. Maybe 14 will come to the Switch, so that would be really awesome. Because I think having this, I mean, you can already do it kind of with the Vita. If you play the game on PS4, you do remote play on the Vita, you can actually play it portably. So if you could play it on the Vita that way, you can easily play it on the Switch. Even if they did some kind of streaming service or something, that'd be great. So it'd be really nice to see them do that, because Final Fantasy and Nintendo have such a rich history.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy is what, like 7, 9, 10, 10-2, and like 12 already, I think.
On the Switch, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many systems have Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, those are all older games at this point.
Well, Final Fantasy VIII is also coming too, and Crystal Chronicles, and the Chocobo Dungeon is on the Switch now. It's a spin-off. So there's Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD or whatever is also on the Switch.
Right. Are we getting? Oh, go ahead, Greg.
I was gonna say they still need to do 4 and 6.
Yes. Yeah, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. Let's say is that the remaster of 8 coming to Switch?
Yes. Yep.
That's
physical
also, okay.
too.
Cool. So we're not getting the 7 remake, but we have the regular 7.
Well, we're not getting the 7 remake right now. I don't know if it could run well on the Switch, but I don't even know if they know what's going on with that game, because it seems like it's going to be 2 Blu-rays and it's only going to be at the first half of the game as an episode, and that's coming next year. And I don't know. It's not even the full game.
Yeah. I mean, I know that game's big, but 2 Blu-rays for only like the first part of it.
It's not even that crazy. Big. The only reason it took 3 CDs is because of the cinematics. It's not a big game it's a big game, but it's not bigger than any other real Final Fantasy game. They're all big games. It's just the cinematics that took all the space. That and the music. Blu-rays hold a lot more data. They're trying to fluff up the opening part of the game, like really make it a spectacle. But who knows? I mean, if the PS5 is probably going to come out next year, so you're going to have part 1 on the PS4 and then part 2 on it's a mess. I don't know.
Right. And who knows? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, doing it in parts. Do you think like that could end? Like, could they not finish it? Like,
yeah, that's always possible.
Yeah.
I mean, look at a shining example, no pun intended, Shining Force 3 on the Saturn. It was done in 3 parts, and Japan got all 3 parts, and America got part 1, and then the Saturn died, so we never got parts 2 and 3. So it's like, okay, great, you get 1/3 of a game. I mean, they did Final Fantasy IV. The After Years was done in parts because it was a mobile game, and then when they brought it to the WiiWare, they had it all in parts that you could download, and then when they released it on PSP, they had it all combined. So it's not out of the question for a Final Fantasy game to be in parts, but it kind of feels sleazy to take all this time just to release half a game.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Greg, what you been up to lately?
Well, I guess no company here. Like, I got plenty of my own list of games I've actually been playing for once. So instead of just like, oh, I just haven't fired up the Switch or just been playing this one game called Paw Patrol or something, I actually have a number of games I've been playing. So I don't always mention it, but I'm still doing dailies with Fire Emblem Heroes, and got sucked back into Dragalia Lost after their crossover event. So I've still been playing that daily as well.
I noticed. I'm so happy.
I almost thought I was able to drop that one, but got sucked back in after that. But yeah, let's go over to the Switch. So last weekend I really got my hands on Tetris 99 for the first time. I participated in that Maximus Cup thing, and that was actually a lot of fun. I had a lot more fun than I ever really thought I would with Tetris 99. So I got up to rank 6 in one of the matches, so I thought that was pretty good. Hit 13 like a couple times, and then pretty much all across the board. I've never been the first one out yet, though, thankfully. So, but I did have some unluckier rounds where I've gotten up like around the 80s or 70s or something. But most rounds I at least passed the half mark at 50. So, nice. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I have to see how well I did, or if I get any gold coins from it. Probably not, because I'm sure there's people that have been playing it like all day, every day, the entire weekend. So. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's the first one. I was also did a little bit more with Yoshi. I experimented with the co-op. I let my daughter play a little bit with me, so she wanted to be the pink one, and I was like being the blue one. We were just kind of replaying a few of the levels, but it was still pretty fun, and she had got a kick out of it when we were eating each other and stuff, and just spitting out and whatnot. So we weren't playing seriously or really doing much collecting, but it was still fun just to like play around, and she actually got a kick out of it. So she's like, "Daddy, let's play the Yoshi game. I want to be the pink one."
That's awesome.
That is fantastic.
Yep. So that was really good there. I also had said in the last podcast I bought Cuphead. I did the first like level and a few bosses or something, and that game is very intense, much harder than I was thinking it was going to be.
Yes, but, it is.
Still, I think I'm pretty much enjoying it so far, but it still needs a lot more time with it, I think. But yeah. I think that's
I am playing a little bit of Cuphead as well, and this is the first time playing it. And the playthroughs that I've seen online make it seem so much easier than what it is. Like the people that know what they're doing, like, oh, the first few levels should be a breeze. I've seen people play those over and over, and then you actually play them yourself, and you're like, holy crap, this is harder.
Yep. So I keep thinking like the gun will do like more damage, but it doesn't do much damage at all. So that's why I ran into it in the first boss, like that huge slime thing. It was like had to take me a couple times because I wasn't sure if I was really even damaging it or what. So I also started playing 12 is the New 6. It was a review game I got like 4 or 5 months ago that I kind of neglected. Actually not a big fan of that one from what I've played. So it's like a kind of like a top-down like Zelda-esque dungeon thing with like a Wild West theme to it. So you kind of go around and having to like kill like some bandits and whatnot. And I don't know, I found the controls very difficult to get used to because like I would say like, oh, press and hold A to pick up the weapon. I would do that, and then he would never pick it up. So I don't know what was going on. So I was forced to try to use the knife to kill all these guys with guns, and you can imagine that's can be very difficult. Yeah, exactly.
That sounds about right. Like from what we learned on our last podcast, you prefer the knives and the swords over guns. So
yeah. But it's much harder when the one hit kills you and you have to stab them like 3 times with the knife. It's not exactly a fair fight. I can't throw the knife.
Oh, that's too bad. Cool. Anything else?
No, I think that's about it this time around. I was trying out some new games and finally got some time to play through some of them. So
cool. Let's see. Jakester, what's he been playing? He said Hat in Time. He's been playing that. I am actually not familiar with that game. But he said he really enjoys it more than Odyssey. So it seems like you know what it is. Barry, what's that game all about?
It's like a 3D platformer.
Okay.
It looks kind of like Mario 64 style, and I've heard very good things about it. But I'm just been waiting for a physical release. But yeah.
Okay. Cool. I don't know why I hadn't heard about it. Let's see. I already talked about Cuphead. I played Cuphead for a little bit. I did get a little frustrated by it. I finally just had to put my controller down and say, you know what, I'm moving on to something a little easier. And so I have not spent that much time on it, but it is at the point where it was almost, it's borderline too difficult to where, like, I wouldn't say it's like too difficult, but it's borderline at that point of difficulty where I was like, did I waste my money on something I can't even get past like the first several levels on? Like that would be really annoying if it was. So I think I still have like confidence in myself. I can eventually get past it, but it's going to take some both like, work playing it, but also like mental work to like not get too frustrated and just want to throw the controller. Let's see what else. I played Pokemon Go. So I did take on vacation, and so I caught a lot of different stuff that spent a lot of time in the airport on the way back. And so we had like a bunch of delays and layovers in the San Jose airport on Saturday. And so I pretty much had Pokemon Go open like most of the time because I had a Pokestop and a I'm forgetting what it's called, the tower, like right by
a gym
where I was sitting, a gym right by where I was sitting. And so I just like keep spinning over and over again, and won a raid battle while I was there by myself because it was a low difficulty one, and took out, some other gym leaders at one point, and just kept playing at the same time that I was also playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I finally booted it up, took it out of the plastic and brought it on my trip with me and everything. And so, I got pretty far in that so far.
Are you enjoying that one?
I have mixed feelings about it. I think in a lot of ways, I like a lot of things about it. So I like that I like that you can see the Pokemon, that you don't have to come into random encounters with them. I mean, some of them still like will come for you, but at least you can try to avoid them. And so I don't feel like the pacing is faster because of that, which is good for someone that sometimes gets annoyed by the pacing of some of the Pokemon games. That's good. I think the pacing being faster. But there's some things that I don't really like about it. And I haven't tried it because I've just played it handheld, but I've heard that you can't play it with the Pro Controller.
Nope.
And that's unfortunate. Right now, I'm enjoying it on the go. I think it's a great experience. I'm used to playing Pokemon on the go, so that's fine. But it would be nice to be able to dock it and play it with my Pro Controller.
It is much easier to play that game handheld. If you dock it, you have to use either the Pokeball Plus or a Joy-Con. And using a Joy-Con isn't bad, except when you go to catch, because you have to actually throw. And sometimes you go to throw and like it registers as just an angle and it goes flying the other way. And it's like, no, that's not where I was trying to. Whereas like the handheld, you can just kind of go boop and push a button. So it's much easier to catch while playing handheld. But other than that, like the battles and stuff are fine on the TV.
Cool. Yeah, I'll probably stick to handheld for the most part. I think it was weird for me to catch Pokemon like that because I was used to encountering them like you had to weaken them and then throw the Pokeball and everything. So it was weird to just encounter it like in Pokemon Go and just be able to throw it. But I do like that I don't have to like flick. That was a good move to just be able to aim and push the A button is fantastic because flicking and trying to aim, I'd waste Pokeballs all the time. But I waste a whole lot less and Let's Go. And there's certain things that I think are weird. And I found this with the case with one other game that I played this week too, is that the controls they don't make sense with the screen. Like clearly they use touch controls because you can interact with Pikachu or Eevee or your Pokemon. You can play with them and stuff like that. But that's the only time. Like I can't choose things on the menu or anything like that with a touchscreen, which I was like, that seems like to just be an oversight because like it would have been faster just to move through what I need to do instead of having to use the joystick to kind of find my way through the menus, which is fine. If you don't have a touch screen, it's perfectly fine. But since you have a touch screen there, I'm like, why can't I just tap on what I want to do? Because clearly you've worked touch controls into this because I can interact with my Pokemon. But things like that is just kind of weird, I think. But overall, I'm enjoying it. I think the faster pace is actually it's cool. I feel like I'm moving through the game a lot faster than I would a typical Pokemon game, which is cool because I do want to get a lot done before Sword and Shield come out, and so I feel like I should be able to make it through this game pretty quick, at least enough where I feel comfortable moving into Sword and Shield.
You should be able to finish it, but once you finish it, then there's of course completing your Pokedex, shiny, hunting, and then of course there's when you beat it, there's 151 trainers, or maybe 153 because of Meltan. And each of those are like experts in their particular Pokemon, so you can challenge them, but you can only use that corresponding Pokemon. So like the Eevee one, you have to use it's Eevee versus Eevee, and the Tentacruel one, it's Tentacruel versus Tentacruel. So you have to get, if you want to challenge, you have to get all 151. You got to level them all up, and then you got to go for that, and you get like titles and stuff for doing it. There's also a couple extra challenge battles, like those legendaries are in there, as well as you could fight green and you could fight red as well as blue. So it's really cool to see all those characters. Like this takes place after red, blue, and green took place.
That's cool. Yeah, I just encountered blue not too long ago, actually. So like I didn't get to fight him or anything, but I got to encounter him. Yeah, just not too long ago. So that kind of gives you an idea maybe of where I am. Still pretty early on, but I feel like I am moving pretty quick though.
Plus you get the connection with Pokemon Go, so you could take your Pokemon Go.
So I haven't made it to that, what's it called? Fuchsia City or something?
Yeah.
Whatever. I haven't made it to that area yet. But I have like done the initial connection and everything, which was not entirely intuitive. I had to look up like how you actually connect, and it says like online and everything, but it wasn't completely.
It shows it in the game when you get to that point.
Oh, okay.
There's no point connecting before that.
There's no point before that. Yeah, that makes sense. So all right. What else did I play? I played a game called Trooper Book, which I think is also on Steam. I can't remember if it's on other systems as well, but it came out. What was it, back in April, I think? And it's a weird game. It's kind of like a point and click, but you also move around in it. And that's the game where I feel like the controls are just a little bit off. It's weird. It's just a weird game in general, but the controls kind of throw me off, and I'm not enjoying it mostly because I don't think it controls well. But it's an interesting game. I played a game called Super Phantom Cat, which is a platformer, very, very, very simple platformer, and it's fun, but it's incredibly simple. And but I got a review copy of that, and so I'm playing through that, and also playing through a review copy of Blazing Beaks, which is a twin stick shooter kind of game, but it's also I forget what you call it. What's the name of the game? Like they kind of respawn. It's a roguelite, roguelite game, and so it's difficult. I didn't realize how difficult this game would be either. So I played it for quite a while, and I get to all the way through to like the boss battles, and I end up dying in the boss battles, and you have to like start all over again from the very beginning of those. And every time it regenerates a brand new level, and so there's no way of learning things. You just gotta beat it all the way through. So it's a challenge. I think the cool thing about that game is it can also be played in like a tournament mode, with you have like 4 local players, and I think that's the real fun in that game. But I've only played it single player so far. Also played some Feather, which is not really a game at all. You're just flying around, and it's interesting, but yeah, that's about all I got to say with that. And before like any game, but because I went traveling and everything, I picked up a new case because you guys know I had the Zelda case that I think all of us got when we bought Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, and everything. But I needed a smaller case that I could just kind of throw in my bag that wasn't as thick, and so I got this one. It's the Game Traveler Slim Travel Case, and so it's really, really thin, and it comes with a cartridge thing where you can put like 4 of your game carts in it. Slides right in the side there, and the Switch just slides right in. Joy-Cons attached. There's no room for anything else. But when you just want yours and a couple cartridges to go with you, it was like $10, like less than $10 at Walmart. So I do recommend it. It was cool because it doesn't take up very much space at all, but it protects your Switch. So I had a little experience with that as well. So, like I said, Barry, I was telling you earlier, I've been playing a lot more games recently. So
I'm happy to see that. That's good.
Yeah. So I definitely didn't have the No Time Barry, rubbing off on me.
I'm really surprised that neither of you picked up Cadence of Hyrule. I'm really surprised at that.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not really my thing. Like, although. And we'll talk about that in just a second. Like what I saw at E3 and all the gameplay and everything, now that I've seen it played, it does intrigue me more than the first time I saw it. But it's still not my thing. I don't think I would enjoy it.
Would it help you to know that you can turn the rhythm parts off of it, so you don't have to move in a beat?
But I don't know. Like, is it still the same though? Like it was built around that.
Everything moves when you move then, so you can stop and take a moment and think what you want to do, as opposed to got to keep, because there's the penalty for not moving during the beat is that you lose your combo meter, like you lose your boosted damage, so you want to try to keep the beat going. And there are some challenges where like there'll be a chest and it'll have like a skull on it and it's locked. And the way to unlock it is to defeat all the enemies in the arena. And then sometimes you'll find another one of those chests that has a little bit more to the skull, like a bigger skull. And not only do you have to defeat all the enemies on that screen, but you also have to do it perfectly, meaning you can't get hit and you can't miss a beat. and it really becomes its own game in a sense. And it's like playing A Link to the Past, but you start getting into the rhythm, and it's all amazing Zelda music. If you like A Link to the Past or any 2D Zelda, you really owe it to yourself. Like this was way better than I thought it would be, and it is roguelike too. So
okay, the music was one of the things that almost set me over. At one point, I was like, oh, I love just having that in the background, but I could easily just, like turn it on Twitch or YouTube and have someone else just play it in the background. I can just listen to the music. So,
well, what's nice about it is it's always randomly generated too. So like when you boot up the game, your version of Hyrule will look different than my version of Hyrule. Like Kakariko Village and the Gerudo Village and stuff, they'll be in different areas. Like Hylia will be in a different area. And the map shows you like things like if you're looking for a piece of heart, like it's not like, oh, where is this? Like it'll show you once you get like certain items, and when you die, you lose like all your rupees, and you lose most of your equipment, but you keep your weapons, you keep all like the Zelda armor, like the boomerang, the hook shot, the bombs, the bow and arrow, the power gloves, the ice rod, the fire. Like there's so many Zelda items you get in this game. You keep all that. So you're constantly making progress. The warp system is super easy to use, and it's very generous in the sense of like once you find like a fairy area, you can warp to it anytime. Like, oh, I'm getting low, warp there and warp back. No penalty at all. I really think you would enjoy it. I wish there was a demo.
Yeah, I think if they come out with a demo, I'll definitely try it for sure. But yeah, I think I do need to get some experience with it, because I don't think it'd be something I enjoy because of the mechanics. But a demo could prove me wrong, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't play Crypt of the Necrodancer either, so I went into this 100% blind, and I came out pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I was gonna say my biggest thing is like the rhythm thing. I've never really played like rhythm games, so I feel like I would get a penalty all the time because I have to figure out.
Well, they do a calibration at the start, so you have a calibration. Yeah. So it gets like all right, there's a little bit of lag and all that stuff, but it's not like, all right, it's not like rhythm like Guitar Hero where like, oh, I've got to quickly hit these buttons and then these buttons. It's just moving to the beat of the music. So the beat is always constant. It never changes unless you hit like there's platforms on like buttons. You hit these buttons and like you'll up the tempo or slow down the tempo for a short bit. Otherwise, it's always the same beat. So you're just constantly moving everything. And like to attack, it auto attacks. So like if an enemy is in front of you, you go into the enemy and you automatically swing your sword. So you automatically will attack. So you don't have to worry about the button push. The buttons are only for your items. You have 4 items on your face buttons, but you're just constantly moving, and everything else moves in accordance with you, and it just works. But it's just one beat. That's all it is.
I feel like, I don't know, Greg. When I hear that, like I feel like it almost get boring. Like because it's the same thing over and over, and it auto attacks. Like I didn't realize it auto attacks. And I was like, if I had to like move and attack, that at least keeps me on my toes. But if I'm just moving the same rhythm all the time, like even though it's great music, like I still feel like that mechanic would kind of get like, okay, I played 2 or 3 levels, like, all right, I'm ready to put this down and move on. Like I couldn't see a long play session with that same mechanic over and over and over again.
Well, it's quick. It's like probably 6-7 hour game. So it's 5 dungeons.
Okay. I've never really been one for like forced movement either, but at least for a Zelda game.
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll come out with the demo, and yeah, well, I'll definitely try it then. All right, so we're gonna move into kind of some news discussion as we normally do. But if just before we move into that, I do want to remind you, if you're new to the NintendoFuse podcast, make sure you subscribe on whatever thing you listen or watch, especially if you're out here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, leave us a like, leave us a comment, what you think and everything. But if you listen to it on your podcast app of choice later, be sure to subscribe there. And if you have the option to leave a comment, that'd be awesome as well. And be sure to share it with other Nintendo fans that you know. Also follow us on social media. We're at NintendoFuse on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We got a Discord that's also going to be in our show notes and everything. So be sure to check that stuff out as well. And we are every other Monday night live on YouTube. And so if you want to join in the live show, join the chat room. We've got some chat going on already about what we're talking about tonight. So if you join in live, you can actually join in the live discussion as it goes every other Monday. So let's move into a little bit of reflection time about E3 2019. So let's talk about some of the things that were first, like, because last podcast we talked a lot about our reflections about the direct, mostly about some other things as well. Since then, they ended E3 their Treehouse Live with an indie focus on that Thursday. So they showed off more of Cadence of Hyrule. They showed off Overcooked 2 DLC. They showed off Dauntless. They showed off Sakuna of Rise and Ruin. They showed off Hollow Knight, Silksong. They showed off Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, and Rad and the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics as well. But they showed off several of games that we knew about already on that Wednesday. So kind of just thinking back about E3, what are some of the high points that you're like, you know what, this was so awesome about E3 that I'm still thinking about it to this day. Greg, anything that you kind of just like, wow, I can't believe that we saw this, I heard about it, and you still can't get it off your mind?
Definitely Link's Awakening dungeon creator thing. I've been like super excited for that just because it's obviously all falls in line with Mario Maker. So like being able to do that with Zelda, that's just so incredible. And been already have the amiibo pre-ordered, so I can get all those bonuses with that. So yep, that's definitely been one thing that's been sticking to it. I'm super excited for Link's Awakening.
Cool. Barry, anything that comes to mind that you can't shake? It's been so awesome.
Definitely seeing Link's Awakening. That's my favorite Zelda game. So to see that and just warmed my heart to see it brought back into the limelight. Because it definitely got overshadowed by A Link to the Past prior to it, and then of course Ocarina of Time following it. The segment on Cadence of Hyrule really won me over. Like that was like, oh my god, I can't wait to play this game. I really want to play this game. So I was happy to that one already come true. Some of the indie stuff looked really good, better than I expected. But yeah, I watched a little bit of like the Deus Machina, and I was like, oh, you know what? I really like this game already. I like the changes. I can't wait for this. And Astral Chain looked fantastic. That game's gonna be so much fun. And like seeing some Luigi's Mansion, like the problem is a lot of these things I'm sold on already. Dauntless looked interesting. I know it's a freebie game. They also did Elder Scrolls Blades on there, which
Oh, yeah.
I have been. I'm at the point now where I'm just doing my daily login and that's it. Just because it's there's a lot of waiting, and a lot of nickel and diming you. Like it's one of those games where they have like the pay currency and then the free currency, and the free currency is useful, but it's not as useful as the paid currency naturally. And like if you get a chest, you got to open the chest, and depending on the color of the chest, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, etc., it takes longer. Like a gold chest will take 6 hours, or you could spend currency to open. Okay, I get that. Whatever. The real kicker is when you get a wooden chest, and a wooden chest takes a whopping 5 seconds to open. Okay, that's not terrible. But then you could also pay one of these pay currencies to open it instantly. And it's just like, really, you're trying to nickel and dime you for 5 seconds? Like that's ridiculous at that point. It's a lot of waiting around. There's a lot of good ideas. I'm interested to see how it works on Switch. I'll be able to take all my things over, but there's such a thing as a free-to-play game that can grip you, like Dragalia Lost gripped me, and Fire Emblem Heroes, especially with Greg. But then there's such stuff like this that it's just like, give me your money, all your money now. Like you really need it, and it's just. But
Well, I mean, one of the first mobile games I played was The Simpsons Tapped Out, and it was basically like you're building stuff, and then like even if it was just going to take 10 seconds, they still was like, oh, you can use the premium currency like just to spend like speed it up past 2 seconds, like 10 seconds. I'm like, It doesn't make any sense why that's there, but
Yeah, I mean, I think you could even do that in Dragalia when you build stuff for the stuff that takes like 30 seconds. But like, I've never felt the need to do any type of hurry up in Dragalia, and I have like over 1,000 at my facility level now at this point. Like, I built so many things. I've done over 1,000 upgrades, and not once have I ever paid for it. It's just, I don't know. See, to me, like what these mobile games try to do is they try to make it that this is your one game to play. Therefore, you just got to keep going. You got to keep going. And a good mobile game will be one of those that will be, you could pick it up. You could say, oh, I could do a few things right now. And then you're fine putting it down and going about your business and picking it up later in the day. Go, oh, I probably recovered some stamina now. Okay, now I'm going to play it for a little bit, enjoy it, put it down, move on. It's like, if this is your only game to play, I feel bad for you. Like, it's all about nickel and diming, and that's sad. But other than that, I mean, I watched a lot of the Treehouse, and it was all like, I want this, I want this, I want this. Please come physical, or I want this. So the second half of this year looks incredible. It looks insane, and I'm mad because Mario Maker 2 is one of those things I showed off, and it's coming out this week, and I'm not going to be able to touch it. And I know Greg's going to be sitting there making like 1,000 levels and be like, Barry, try this, Barry, try this, Barry, try this. And I'll be like, I can't. I'm busy running stuff in 14 right now.
It's true. He's going to keep us all busy.
You could take a break and play some of my levels.
Nah, I can't.
Missed out on like all my Wii U levels that turned out really good. So
I know, and well, that was I really wasn't really playing much on the Wii U. That was the Wii U's problem, not the Switch's problem. No,
Yeah.
I'll be able to play it probably in a couple weeks. In truth and honesty, I want to get through the story. Like these expansions are the equivalent of a full RPG, but it's social. So I'll get to it. I'm gonna say maybe mid-July I'll be able to open up my copy. August the latest.
Nice. Well, we're going to talk about Mario Maker 2 a lot pretty soon. But sticking with that, yeah, I mean, what you guys have said, I totally agree with everything. Seeing more of Luigi's Mansion 3 sold me even more on the game. I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's looking really fun. I don't know. I still am not sure what I think about the Guigi thing. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I have mixed feelings. I think it's a cool mechanic, but I also feel like that's kind of weird. But overall, I feel a lot more solid about this game the more that I see it, and that was cool. Let's see what else. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Yeah, I was already hyped for this game. Talked about it on several previous episodes, but I'm even more hyped for it. Jakester's talking about Lego Star Wars. That's really all he needs apparently. So I agree. Lego Star Wars is going to be awesome. That's on the list as well. Let's see what else. Oh, how could I forget the Breath of the Wild sequel? Like, oh my gosh, I still can't believe that my prediction came true. And I can't shake, like, every time someone does an analysis on it. Oh, it's first thing that I'm watching online, and just like all the rumors and the speculation about what's going on in this story, and people like having different opinions on it all and everything. I'm like eating it up, just like almost as much as like when a new Marvel movie comes out and like people are like analyzing, the 5 seconds of little footage you see in a trailer. Like, that's kind of like how I can't get enough of the Breath of the Wild sequel analysis, because I'm so excited for that game and so excited to see where they go with this. I think it's interesting. I mean, I'm so much further into my life, but also my gamer life, that I remember when Majora's Mask was announced and came out and everything. I was excited about that game getting a sequel, about Ocarina of Time getting a sequel, but I don't remember like being like, oh my gosh, I have to have that right away.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like. I think possibly because I was still like, I loved Ocarina of Time, like absolutely loved it, played the crap out of that game, but I don't remember what was going on in my life at that time or what. I know that I mean, information is not as readily available as it
Yeah,
is
but there was
nowadays.
so crazy during that time because we had two Zeldas to look forward to. There was Zelda Gaiden and Yura Zelda. And it was like, oh my God, we have two new Zeldas to look forward to. Like it was like hype overload. And obviously Zelda Gaiden became Majora's Mask and Yura Zelda became Master Quest. But it was like, oh my God, like this is insane. And again, like you said, the infancy, everything was like speculation in all the magazines, and it was like, oh, what's this? What's this? What's this? How could you not be excited as a Zelda fan?
I really don't know. I don't know. I remember being excited about Master's Quest. I do. But for whatever reason, like Majora's Mask just did not. I think part of the reason, honestly, was because I did know enough about the mechanics. And one of the things that I've never been overly thrilled about in a Zelda game is the trading stuff. And when I realized that you're like like there was the masks and like, oh, they're building a whole game around the masks. And so my young mind, not knowing everything about it, like I initially like I remember interpreting everything like that way, and that took me down a path of like I'm not gonna like this game. And that's I think why I must have like just shut that part of my brain off and go, oh, but I'm going to enjoy Master Quest. But and so I was excited about that. But I never, I'm still not a huge fan. Like it's fun, but it's Majora's Mask is not at the top of my Zelda list. But on the whole other contrary, like this is like Breath of the Wild is one of my favorites. Like we talked about the last podcast, at some point we probably maybe need to dedicate an entire like episode just to like talk about our favorite Zelda games. But Breath of the Wild is definitely up there for me. And for it to get a sequel and it looks even better, possibly, and darker, and there's like this mystery around it a little more than the other one. Like that's that. Yeah, I cannot shake that from E3 at all. So, yeah. Any other things that you guys saw that you just like, you know, thinking back toward E3 other than Mario Maker 2, because we're gonna be talking about that pretty soon. Just like, yeah. Anything else that kind of comes to your mind? You're like, you know what? Yeah, we should spend some time talking about this, positive or negative. Any reflections, Greg? Anything?
Oh, there was negatives.
Well, I did happen to read something today about they didn't want to show like Metroid Prime 4 like quite yet or something like that. There was something going on where they didn't want to like cannibalize, like actually I think it was Luigi's Mansion 3 is what they was the direct quote for it. So I thought that was very interesting that they thought that those two vastly different games could be, if there was some mixed reception over that, but I don't know.
That's interesting. So is that to say that they do have enough to actually show us?
It could just be PR bull.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, yeah, you could read into it that way, where it's like, yes, like maybe they could have shown something that's not a logo, or maybe it was just like that was their reason just to not show it, is because it's not super soon. But obviously Zelda's not that soon, but I don't know.
Yeah. Very, you said you got some negatives?
There were so many negatives this E3. And it really wasn't Nintendo outside of one. The biggest negative I have for Nintendo's presentation was the that stupid Resident Evil thing in the middle, which I have to think was Capcom sending them this video and saying, please put this in your direct. And they're like, how the hell are we going to do this? All right, let's make up some BS about how you can play the Switch everywhere. And that's how we're just going to throw this in. But no, like every conference had some real negatives. But none worse to me than Bethesda. I thought Bethesda was like, do you remember the days of like E3 2009, 2010 when like Konami would put on press conferences and they were like train wrecks? Like that's how this Bethesda was. Like it wasn't as big as 1 million, wow, or giant enemy crab or anything like that. But it was
Ridge
just
Racer.
Ridge Racer. It was the.
What about Wii Music?
Oh, you know what? Wii Music was better than Bethesda because Bethesda had this paid crowd, or his employees, and they were just obnoxious. Holy crap, were they obnoxious! And Bethesda was out there proud, showing off mobile games. That's 90% of what they showed off was mobile games, and they butchered one of my childhood like IPs, like one of the franchises I love and hold dear to my heart as a kid growing up with PC shareware, and that is Commander Keen. And they destroyed Commander Keen. Like, I'd rather them never touch it again than put out this mobile garbage they're putting out. They destroyed it. And Ubisoft was up there too. Ubisoft had a lot of WTF moments. The orchestration was nice. The TV show was interesting, except it's Apple TV only, and I also don't watch E3 to find out what's new to watch on TV. Tom Clancy everything. I mean, you might as well just change Ubisoft to the Tom Clancy company at this point. The Uplay streaming service. Everyone knows how I hate about digital stuff. Well, streaming is even worse than digital, and I love the fact that it's on Stadia. So you have to pay $9.99 a month for Stadia just to be able to stream, and then you have to pay Uplay another $14.99 just to stream Assassin's Creed 1 when you could just go to GameStop and buy it for like 99 cents at this point. It's ridiculous. The only thing at Ubisoft that saved it for me was that Gods and Monsters at the end, and I was praying for it to be some kind of tie-in with Kid Icarus. I still hope they do some kind of tie-in, because that was one of my predictions, that there would be another collaboration this year, and it didn't happen. And I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, here we go. This is it. This is going to be Kid Icarus right here, and it wasn't. And it was like, oh, they missed this opportunity. Those two shows were abysmal. It was just terrible. Devolver Digital was good. I still enjoy that. I love the fact that they're building on a series. Limited Run was
weird.
Yeah, you finally got to see it.
Yeah.
It's so weird, and it's so out there, and they know it, and they just have fun with it. And I think it's brilliant, because they just go out there and they just have fun. They make it as literally batshit crazy as they can, and to me, that's awesome. I mean, you have a freaking tentacle monster coming out of a person's chest at an E3 press conference. How could you not enjoy that? I mean, come on. That isn't crazy. And then, this whole Terminator storyline they're doing, it's just a lot of fun. What was I going to say? The Limited Run was actually pretty good too, except a lot of people don't talk about this, unfortunately. A lot of the games they showed off were fantastic, but they really tried to drop a big bomb at the end and had most of us excited, and we found out really what it is at this point, and I'm really disappointed. They showed like, oh yeah, by the way, we got Star Wars, and they started showing like all these Star Wars titles, like clips of them, and it was like, oh my god, are they bringing like a Star Wars compilation to the Switch? Like with the NES Star Wars and the SNES Star Wars, and like Rogue Rebel Assault and X-Wing vs TIE Fighter, and I'm like, oh my god, this is fantastic. And then like more coming soon. And the next thing they showed was like Bounty Hunter was getting on the PS4, not the Switch, but the PS4. I'm like, okay, what about the other titles? The other titles, they listed them, and they listed like Star Wars NES, Star Wars Game Boy, and I'm like, yeah, okay, what system are they for? That was the system. They're literally putting out repro cartridges for the NES and for the Game Boy and for the. But I'm like, what? Like, this is a missed opportunity. Why isn't this not coming to Switch? You're literally showing repro cartridges at this point. Like, no,
Right.
I don't want repros. I could buy them at Alien Express. I could buy for the same price legit cartridges. These are not expensive games.
Right. They're not like games that you can't find anywhere.
It's unbelievable. Like, this would have been amazing. Like a Switch collection of all these old Star Wars games would have been awesome. Awesome. But I digress. Microsoft was pretty good. A lot of people don't like Battletoads. I think Battletoads looked fine. I hope it comes to Switch. I hope the new Ori comes to Switch, and the first Ori comes to Switch. I like the Lego car. I thought that was kind of cool. I hate the mobile games that they showed off. That Gears Pop thing looks terrible. And I'm excited for Scarlet. I think Scarlet is the exact kick Nintendo needs, and I hope that Microsoft's been talking with Nintendo and they share some of this for a potential Switch Pro. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that just a little bit, because I mean we have Banjo-Kazooie coming to Smash, and we have like all these other several games that were announced moving over from Xbox to Switch. They're openly talking about this relationship that they have now, and they're excited about it. Both sides are excited about it. What could this mean? Like going forward, we speculated more about Xbox Live or Xbox Game Pass coming to Switch in the past. But what do you think this could actually mean, I guess, for both Microsoft and Nintendo moving forward? Clearly, we have no idea. We're speculating here, but we've seen a lot. Like, what could this mean? What do you think, Greg?
I mean, it's really hard to tell. I mean, does it mean that Nintendo might start producing titles onto the Xbox, or does it? I don't know. I mean, does it mean that like Halo is coming to Switch? I mean, who knows? I have no idea how this is really going to go. I mean, if they really want to take down Sony, I mean, I think that'd be the one thing to do it. To have exclusive titles that are not on the PlayStation. But I don't know. I'd like it to be like the Live, because I've heard good things about Live, and I much rather would prefer a better online ecosystem than Nintendo's charging us for our own internet. But I don't know. It's very hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah, Greg brings up an interesting point that I've not thought about. Maybe you've thought about this before. We're seeing Xbox games come over to Switch. Are we going to see the opposite? Is that going to happen?
Nope. That I really don't think that will happen unless they do something where Project Scarlet is announced as a Microsoft Nintendo system. Like if they come out and say, "Hey, here's Project Scarlet. We're gonna call it, something Xbox, but we're gonna make it like the Nintendo Xbox or something like that." That's the only way it's gonna happen, because Nintendo is in a position right now where they're catching up to the Xbox One. They don't need to worry. They're really raking the money. They're just like Sony. Sony doesn't need to worry. They're in a position. Microsoft is in a position where they realize the Xbox is not doing well commercially, and that's why they're putting their games everywhere, because there's more money. Like, it's one of those things that analysts would have said, like, "Oh, could you imagine the amount of money Breath of the Wild would have made them if they put it on PlayStation 4?" Like, yeah, but it wasn't about that. It was about the console sales. Microsoft's like, "Hey, you know what? Minecraft sells on the Switch. We still make money off of it. That's cool about that." They don't care. Microsoft, and you have to remember, Nintendo's division that's it. Their gaming division. That's 100% what they're doing. Microsoft has a whole bunch of other divisions. It's just the Xbox division doing the games. There's the PC, the Windows, the development, the phone. They've got all these other divisions. Microsoft is a much bigger company than Nintendo. It's worth a lot more money. And according to a list of like the top 100 most valuable brands, Xbox is on that list, and PlayStation and Nintendo were not, which I don't know how that works. But Nintendo doesn't really need to do it. Microsoft, if anyone, needs to do it. And I think they're in talks. I think something's going to come from it. And what it is, we don't know. It could be something as, here's another game, or here's the Xbox Live library. We have Cuphead, we've got Minecraft, we got the Minecraft Dungeons that's coming. That's going to be on the Switch. I'd love to see the Ori games. I'd love to see Rare Replay. Super Lucky Tales is now coming. That actually was another one that I'm really excited for after they showed it at the Treehouse. I did enjoy what I saw of that. So it's hard to speculate, because all of this is, again, speculation. It could be right, it could be wrong, it could be anything. So you might as well just go to the moon. Let's, just give us Rare back. Microsoft's just going to walk in and say, "Here's Rare's IPs. Have fun. Bye," and just walk out. And that's what's going to happen. I mean, why not? It's as good a chance as any.
And everyone that worked at Rare that was a part of the Nintendo
that's
consoles.
platonic now. And they have a good relationship with Nintendo right now. So
that's true. It's true. Yeah, man. Who knows? It's going to be interesting moving forward. And I mean, I don't think, Jakester's asking, would Nintendo ever buy Xbox? I don't think they would. I think that's a price that is going to be really, really, really high. Number one, but I don't think that's probably in their vision. I don't think Nintendo's never really been a buyout kind of company. I don't think that they would change direction just with a new president and CEO and everything. But I guess stranger things have happened. But I don't think.
How about they buy Platinum first? Like that's an obvious one.
Right. Yeah, because Xbox is actually the company that usually goes after all these other companies.
They did it again with Double
Microsoft as a
Fine.
whole, and now they're doing with all the game studios. Yeah. So like probably be the other way around. Like Microsoft's probably put out, a couple ideas like, hey, Nintendo, you want to come over here? You want to come over here? Yeah, you want to come over here? And they're probably saying no all the time. Like, hey, can we just start a relationship here instead? But yeah, I'd actually see the offer coming from Microsoft more than I would from Nintendo. Now, if that's going to happen, probably not. But I'd actually see that offer come the other way around instead. So, well, let's move on from E3, at least a little bit, because something's been going on with 2K and maybe an NBA game. Barry, how about you fill us in a little bit on what's been going on with NBA 2K?
This is a right piece of corporate greedy ass pieces of crap. That's what this is. I'm not a 2K player. I know you are, Steve. I don't know if you've experienced this or not in your travels, but they just had NBA 2K19. They just put it on an amazing sale. I think it was like $5 on the Switch. I think it was $3 on other platforms. Awesome sale. Well, that's cool. Oh, 60, like it makes sense. NBA 2K20 is coming out.
Yeah.
This is great.
It was very tempting. I almost got it because I have 2K18, but I was like, for like $5 or $3 or whatever, I was like, maybe I'll actually get it. I don't know.
So it's like, okay, cool. And then the people who got it started realizing, oh, wait a second. When I boot up the game, it has to load. That's fine. Loading makes sense. And they have to watch this commercial for this TV show called Snowfall, which is a commercial about the rise of cocaine in California, like at the beginning, like in the 80s and stuff. Great for a Nintendo platform, mind you. Now, the loading would stop at 99% and wouldn't hit 100 until the whole commercial aired. And this happened every time. Okay, some people said, you know what? I paid $5 for this game. If I have to watch a commercial, that's fine. It was subsidized the $60 cost. That's not really a big deal. Mobile games do it, ads in games, that's fine, whatever. But if you buy this game, $60, you pay the full price, you still have to watch that commercial every single time, and it's not skippable. Even if you've already paid full price for this game, you now have to watch this commercial for this TV show every time. That is ripe bull. Like, period. That is bull. That should not be there. You should not have to pay full price for a game and then have unskippable ads every time you want to play the game. Like, that is going down a very, very bad alley. That could lead to a lot of like terrible things. Like, product placing in games has happened. Sports games, you see the ads, like no big deal. That's kind of like real life anyway. But what's next? I mean, mobile games already do it. But again, you get them for free, fine. That's your subsidized cost. But you pay $60 for the next Mario game, and every time you jump into the next painting, you gotta watch a 60-second ad for a TV show on TNT. Like, what? No, I don't want to do that. I skip commercials when I'm fast forwarding my DVR anyway. Like, no. So yeah, this is bull. Take-Two is really, really going into EA territory here. This is terrible business practice, and they need to be called out on it, because if they get away with this, I assure you they will do this again, and other companies will say, hey, Take-Two got away with doing that. Maybe we can do that too and get some extra revenue money from this commercials. And then we all have to sit through wonderful, terrible ads that we don't care about every time we want to play.
Yeah. So Ryan just joined us in the chat, and he said they're also charging a whole bunch of money for haircuts, apparently, without previewing, and then charging you to go back to the old haircut again too. So
that's terrible. I didn't even know about that. That's seedy. That's almost as that is about as bad as horse armor from Bethesda. If you remember Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, their DLC, you had to pay for horse armor, and it was expensive. Stupid.
What were you about to say, Greg?
I was going to say the day that the more games get ads is the day that I'm not going to be getting new consoles and games.
Well, like I said, it would be okay if you paid $5 for a game. Like if they said, here's the game for 60, or you can get it for 5, but you have these ads. Companies have done that before. If you remember the Gizmondo, they had the smart ads. It was $100 cheaper to get that system. You had ads on it. Well, it's to subsidize the cost. Some people will do that. It was a failed system anyway, but it's been a practice in this industry before. But not when you pay $60 for a game, not when you bought the game at launch for $60, played it without the ads, and now you're forced to sit through these ads after the fact, even though you've bought it at launch. You paid full price for this game, and you still have to sit through it.
Yeah,
that's why I try to get a refund.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Part of me, like when you first started talking about it, I'm like, you know what? That's kind of unfortunate that you bought a game just thinking it was on sale, and then all of a sudden you get like, oh, now I see why it's cheaper. And so initially I was like bummed that like I was just like it's built upon as you're explaining it. So like first I was bummed that I was like, oh man, you get like a lesser than game. But okay, maybe I can rationalize that because it's less money. Okay, no big deal. But then the fact that it's an update for every player to like every time, not even just like a one-time thing, like it's just awful. Yeah, I have nothing to say except that's just awful, and I hope they maybe it's just a time thing. Maybe it's, I don't know, how long has this been out? Like a few days so far, or is it?
I think the update's been, I think, a week now. This update's been out.
So I could maybe see if it was like a paid product placement sort of thing. You're like, you know what, we're just going to do it for just a week. Then okay. But like, if there's no signs of it, if it going away, that's awful.
But then you also have to take in the fact that the game is rated E for everyone because it's a sports game, and you're advertising a TV show about the rise of cocaine. Like there might be children, 8-year-olds that are like, oh, you know what? I'm going to play basketball. I love basketball. I'm going to play this on my Switch. And now they're watching a TV show commercial that would never air on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or anything like that. It's like, whoa, what are you getting exposed to here?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Wow.
Like that should change the rating.
I'm just surprised Nintendo can't like block the update because it doesn't sound like they would allow something like that.
That's on all systems.
Well, I guess it falls under the online stuff, not officially rated, but that's just stupid.
It's not online though; it's just booting up the game.
Well,
and this is like
it's coming from online. I don't know. Yeah, I hear you. I don't know. I agree. I'm just kind of trying to somewhat rationalize that.
Nintendo could still take it off of the eShop and not allow the update.
That's true. Nintendo could make a move like that.
If they do, and then you couldn't play the game online, then you know what's going to happen? Then Take-Two will be like, all right, NBA 2K20, well, we're going to pull it for the Switch, and now Switch owners won't be able to do that. We saw EA do it with the Wii U titles when Nintendo said, hey, you know what? We're not going to do Origin, sorry. And EA is like, okay, well, here goes our support.
Yeah. Well, that's really unfortunate. But let's move on to something happier.
Yes.
Because very soon, on July 10th, we're going to get Dr. Mario World coming to our mobile devices. iOS and Android are going to get it on July 10th, and you can actually, I believe you can do a pre-registration, I think for both iOS and Android right now. So you can kind of sign up ahead of time and get it, pre-order the game. It is free to start. It's one of those kind of games. And so, yeah, you can go ahead and do that right now. It's just at the Dr. Mario World website. You can pre-registration link and just go ahead and pre-order it. But what I was interested to see is this is not the Dr. Mario that I thought it would be. It's a different kind of game. It's a match 4 kind of game, and it's playing from the bottom up. So you're like sending these in there, and you control it with touch and lining up the viruses and everything. And you can bring in the other doctors of Dr. Peach and Dr. Bowser and Dr. Toad and many others. They're going to add more worlds as you go. I think there's 5 or 6 worlds at the very beginning and like 200 stages, but they're going to add more as you go. But it does seem that's the good news. On the other side of it, it does seem to be one of those games that that Barry's not too fond of, possibly nickel and diming us with what's it, diamonds and some other health things that you can purchase to make things a little quicker and all that stuff. It seems very similar to, was it Pokemon Quest, I think, that had similar sort of things, where you can progress through the game like normal, but you run out of lives or whatever, and you have to wait till they build back up again. But you can make that faster and get more into the game if you spend some of your hard-earned cash. But yeah, like I did pre-order it and everything. Pre-ordered it, it's free. But I already did pre-registered for it and everything. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm definitely interested in it. I was never a huge Dr. Mario fan. I just found it a little more challenging of a puzzle game, and I never really got into it. I played it, of course, but I have friends that are like, that's one of their favorite puzzle games, and it was never one of my favorite games. But this one, I think the mechanics changing up do make it more intriguing to me. But I'm not a big fan of how they're doing the paid system. It would have been nice to just like kind of buy this game outright, and doesn't seem like that's what they're doing. Barry, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm really upset at the people out there that complained about Super Mario Go or Super Mario Run being a $10 download, a one-time fee, because that was great. I didn't mind paying the $10. I got that game. I really enjoyed that game. Got the whole experience. Loved it. There was DLC. It was free. I got to experience it. I really enjoyed that game. But now they're like, oh, I guess people don't want this model. So here you go. And now they're making more money. I mean, Fire Emblem has raked in a crap ton of cash, and Dragalia is right behind it at this point. And Mario is like all the way down at the bottom of the list. And Animal Crossing isn't doing too shabby either. So it's like, okay, thanks a-holes. Now this is what we get. This is what we get because you couldn't put $10 down. Now you're going to spend $150 a month on Dr. Mario gems. Are you happy now? You could have just spent $10 and been happy. Nope. Enjoy your empty wallet. I mean, I'm gonna get it. I got the pre-download thing or whatever. The sign up for notification. I'm gonna give it a shot, but I doubt I'm gonna get like really hooked on it. I'm just gonna play it just for, hey, I played Dr. Mario World, yeah. Right. Especially with the loot boxes, you want that Dr. Bowser, man. You better just keep going and hoping.
That's true. Greg, what's your thoughts on not Super Mario World? that's keep throwing me off. Dr. Mario World.
How many times did you get the title incorrect?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to quit. I give up. You guys are on your own now. I don't know any of these titles anymore.
Yeah, I definitely obviously pre-registered for it as well, so I'll be looking forward to it. I mean, I really did like it on Game Boy. That was like really got exposed to it, and I played a ton with my sister, and we had so much fun just doing some challenges and going back and forth and playing the multiplayer with the link cable, and we had a lot of fun with that. So I am looking forward to this one, trying to see how they're going to do it, but I'm not going to be putting any money in. I still haven't put any money into Dragalia Lost, so I kind of know how the gacha systems work now, and not going to be paying for time that I'm saving. So that's a very bad waste of money, and it just really stinks that the mobile market is very reflective of that. So,
yeah,
I mean, Nintendo's just going to try and do whatever they can to get money, and that's the idea behind it.
Well, one thing I will say about Dragalia it has the same, stamina and the wings, and you could pay to instantly get them back, is there's also items in the game that will replenish them as well for you, and they give it to you every day. They give you items to replenish that. So if you're not going to be playing for a lot and you could stack up these items, you can then play consistently for a long time. And I like that. I like the fact that they're giving you items in the game to subsidize that cost and that thing. Is it enough to keep playing constantly? No, but it's there. and it's very generous. You get like 5 a day or something like that. Like it's significant.
Yeah.
And hopefully
and
this does it too.
that's how Fire Emblem does too. I mean, you get like a daily stamina potion and refills all the way back up to the top. So, and plus you can use your My Nintendo points on it if you have nothing else to spend them on too. So there's that benefit there.
That's what I can spend my Nintendo points on. Maybe Dr. Mario.
Mario.
Yeah, I think the cool thing with this game is because it's a puzzle game, I feel like it's a little more okay because I can just take it at my own pace then. I don't have to spend money. It seems like the only way the big reasons to spend money is to play more at a time. And so actually this may just pace me better. And I won't get sucked in, for hours playing a game on my phone. I'll just, I've reached my limit for today or for this, this time frame. I'll put it down and move on to something else. And so maybe it's a way of it's a quality of life thing, really. Like
Parental control for Steve.
There you go. Exactly. Because I need Nintendo to limit my play times because I can't do my own. So
I mean, I know Nintendo's been known for saying that they're trying not to really push a lot for to make you spend all these on these microtransactions. And I think that's why they've been increasing the summoning rates in both Dragalia and Fae and have taken that kind of approach just so you're not trying to be super nickel and dime. They're trying to give you more value for the money that you are spending.
Actually, Cygames, the team behind Dragalia, has come out and publicly stated that they're angry at Nintendo because they want to nickel and dime the players more. They want to be making more money than they are, and Nintendo is the one saying no, be more generous, no, give them more stuff, no, do these things. So they started doing giveaways and stuff, and they actually had to say this is courtesy of Nintendo. Like, we didn't even want to do these giveaways. Nintendo's the one doing it. And I'm so glad Nintendo is in charge of these things because they are keeping it more regulated. They are making it better for the players.
Yeah, that's cool. Greg, you've been chomping at the bit. I can't talk. Man, vacation apparently relaxed me too much, or my mouth just can't even work. You've been chomping at the bit tonight, talking about Super Mario Maker. So I know you've been just as much of the analyses that I've been watching. I keep picking the wrong word. Yeah, I've been watching all the Breath of the Wild 2 stuff or sequel stuff. You've been watching all the Super Mario Maker 2 stuff. What have you learned there from all of the videos you've been watching? What are you excited about? Talk to us about some Super Mario Maker 2.
All right, so I've been kind of watching through the Game Explained videos. They've done at least 3 of them where 2 of them were kind of just like answering fans' questions just to kind of see like, oh, are you able to do this with this combination of items? And then the third one was just like them exploring the limits on if you can actually go and how many blocks and stuff you can place within the level. So from that one was a little bit less interesting, at least for me, like the block placement. But the one thing that really take away from that is they put the ground blocks into like a different category for a limit than some of the other like enemies and other types of blocks. So you can have like 4,000 pieces of block, which is basically a half of the entire screen, like the whole thing filled with those just solid ground if you wanted to. So that was definitely appreciated to see that you won't be limited as much as the first one in that regard. In terms of some of their tests, the most disappointing thing is you won't be able to stack the pipes anymore because you were basically able to have go in one pipe and then you can, if you like overlaid it with a different pipe, you can like come out that like same pipe when you return like back to the main world or subworld, wherever you have the direction coming from. So that's the biggest disappointment because that allowed for some puzzle levels where you have to try to actually go back in the pipe that you came out of to leave that area or something. Like initially players didn't really think about that, but obviously that as it became more of a technique, it added a lot to the game. So that part will be missed. Most of the other ones was just like how the sideways thwomps work with like a parachute. It just kind of slows them down. You can't But you can't attach it to the Koopa Clown car. The Koopa car, not the clown car. And you can't stack enemies in the 3D world style, which is also kind of an interesting take, considering that Cat Mario might have been able to like climb the stack or something, but I guess they didn't want to allow that. So it's just a lot of different things that they covered. But I don't know if you guys really care too much about the building details or building or anything like that.
To me, it's all stuff that is teasing me because I'm not going to get to play it for a while. That's why I've been like, I don't need to see any of this stuff. It's just going to make me want to play this stuff. I know it's already going to be good. Other than that, no going back in the pipe thing is kind of weird.
It's just that you can't. It's basically just can't stack two different pipes on the same tile. So it like looks like you come out of one pipe, and then if you hit down, you can technically enter a different pipe because you had two pipes like on the same space.
Well, that might be changed. They might fix that. There's updates.
They can fix that, but yeah, it was pretty much overlapping pipes, which made it look like you were coming out of the same one, not actually couldn't go back in one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait because it's so close. I mean, just a few days, but I'm trying not to want to play it.
Good luck. I thought the most interesting thing that they showed off, and I've seen in other things too, is that they don't allow the stacking of the enemies in the 3D world. Like that's, I don't know. It just seems interesting. It's like a thing of Mario Maker that you've been able to do that, and people have kind of built worlds around that and levels and everything, and to not be able to do that is weird. I'm sure there's some sort of technical reason, or maybe just a philosophical reason that they chose not to do that. But that was one of the things that I thought was a little weird, that they weren't able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I'll be playing around with that style. I mean, I've always loved playing around with the Mario 3 and Mario World the most. So,
is there any confirmation if you could give the cat acorn to enemies and turn them into cat versions of themselves?
Yeah, they've already said they can't do that, so it doesn't do that.
That's so stupid.
There's a separate element for like the bonsai build, the cat version, and a separate.
Is there cat Goombas?
No, there's not.
That's criminal. That's it. I'm canceling my pre-order.
Yeah, that'll make sure you won't play it then.
Yeah, now I'm happy because my wife loves cat Goombas, and she's gonna be devastated to find out no cat Goombas in this game.
Of all the things to make it cancel,
there you go.
That'd do it.
Then you'll miss out on that unlimited edition stylus that you got.
What about the stylus? I got the stylus coming.
Yeah, but you won't be able to use it or anything.
Yeah, if you cancel it, you won't get it.
Well, no, I'll just can't. I mean, I just won't play it. I have to get it. I'm going for the full set. But damn it, Nintendo.
Yeah. So first no stylus in America, now no cat Goomba.
I know they're terrible right now.
Well, at least it's not exclusive to Nintendo Japan and Europe. Only they get
everybody suffers there. Nobody gets cat Goombas.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also disappointing that the mystery mushroom's not coming back, or like the lanky, skinny Mario. I mean, that stuff helped make the Mario 1 style more unique. But
yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I mean, what's it like? 1, 2, 3, 4 days away.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I've already pre-downloaded, just waiting for that activation key.
For the download, nice. I think I keep going back and forth if I'm in a physical. I think this will be one of the ones that I do digital because I would want it at my fingertips at all times. Because I like Barry disagrees. He wants more physical, but I've kind of now gotten to a more there's reasons behind what I do, and especially for the games that I want to be able to boot up right away. And I don't have to. The hassle of putting a cartridge in and everything like a caveman.
Yeah, we walked up ways.
That's right. That's crazy. No, that's crazy talk. Why would someone take a whole 10 seconds to open a box and put a cartridge in and take the? That's just
you entitled millennial.
See, I do have to agree with that. Now I have to like take off like my case, and then I have to like. That's kind of a hassle, and then I have to open up the slot. And
what is this world coming to? God forbid.
Push the cartridge down, take it out.
So much work.
That's right.
Give it a little lick to make sure it tastes bad.
I'm really surprised you guys don't have feeding tubes, because all that extra work to make the food or buy the food and then take it and you have to eat it and you chew it, and the motion of chewing and swallowing, oh my God, and you want to drink, you got to pick it up. It's separate, as opposed to just going right in. You don't have to stop what you're doing. You just get the feeding tube and you'll be good.
I didn't know that was a possibility. All right.
Of course, it is a possibility. Put your food in a blender and we're good to go.
But then you don't get to taste it, though. I guess if there was and cartridges taste bad, so like you can't.
You don't need to taste it. It's all going into your stomach. You're getting your nourishments. You're fine. Why take the extra time? You could be playing your digital Mario Maker 2 while you're eating a cheesesteak by having the blended cheesesteak go into your stomach just like that. Like, oh, cool, this is awesome. Save time.
You got a point. Even Ryan agrees with you. Yeah, I think he really agrees with you the other way around. But yeah. I'm going to take this out of context. He agrees with you. Yeah, let's just put it right in. Oh wait, no, he says that's an excellent idea. Here we go.
Yeah, keep reading. Keep reading his excellent idea.
Oh, totally out of context. We're just going to take right there that first line. He said it's an excellent idea.
But Barry, the critical thing is, how can you change the game when you're sitting on the toilet?
Good point. You don't want to get your the possibility of dropping that thing, where it shouldn't be.
Well, if you shouldn't be dropping it, you have a
accidents
counter right there. You put it down.
I don't have a counter in mine.
You don't have a counter in your bathroom?
Well, in one of them, I don't. No.
Well, then you know what? You
installed a counter.
You have. Well, not only have to install a counter, your pants kind of create their own counter when they're at your ankles, right? So you put the Switch nestled into your pants that holds it. And then you take a little thing that came with your case, right, that holds your Switch cards, and you take that out of one of your pockets of your pants, and you pull the card out you want, you swap it, and then you go back to playing. Simple as that.
What if the game you want to play is not on your person?
Then you better finish your shit quickly so you can play the damn game.
Oh, well. That's enough.
Hey, you brought this on. This is all you.
Wait, I didn't. I blame Greg. Greg brought up the.
Oh, whoever brought the bathroom, it wasn't me.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Let's move on, because we're going to be playing this game by the end of our next podcast. We'll actually, at least Greg and I will have a chance to talk about it on our next podcast. We'll see if Barry gets
tell Barry all about it.
Time. Hey, that's what you could do, Barry. There's where you get your Super Mario Maker 2 time in. You have to take breaks from Final Fantasy to do that. So that's when you get your Mario Maker 2
There's
time
no
in.
Breaks.
There's no break. Mario Maker 2.
It's ordering the food.
Like
it's
I think it's built in. It's Mario Maker 2.
Nope.
So it's for number 2. Yeah.
Nope. 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 Only if Greg plays in the bathroom with cartridges. Only then.
So you gotta break my.
Taking it.
If I'll get him to play this game, then. I do have some cartridges I can put in.
But it's got to be a physical Mario Maker 2.
Oh, I've already bought the digital version.
Oh, well, that's just too bad.
Right. Here's what we do. Like, if you're listening, you're watching later, throw down in the comments. Give Barry amazing reasons why he needs to play Mario Maker on the toilet. That's what we need to do. Because He needs to. So that way we can actually talk about it next time.
I am totally going to make a terrible level just about you and shit or something and upload it because clearly Nintendo will allow that.
There you go. It could be a toilet level.
We'll call
Yeah.
it Shitty Steve.
Oh, it could take it down.
rhymes.
No, it wouldn't even pass the upload for the language in it.
That's true. That's true.
Oh.
Well, you may be able to
Poor
play.
Jakester.
Yeah. Oh, he just came back. He missed all of it.
Oh man, Jakester, you're gonna have to rewatch this when we're done.
Oh.
You missed out.
Jakester, here's the deal though. You may be able to play Mario Maker 2 on the toilet, even smaller soon. Because I don't know why anybody would want to do that. I'm just thinking of segues. So segue into the fact that we've got more rumors and potential news about a Switch Mini actually maybe coming out, and things have been kind of going back and forth. We've known about the Wall Street Journal's leaks or their sources saying that there's apparently 2 new models coming this year, and we've talked about it. We've speculated about there being a Pro model and a Mini model, and if they're both going to come out this year, or one's going to come out than the other, or whatever that's going to look like. We have no idea. Nintendo has not said anything about this. This is only coming from sources that are familiar with the matter, and from some companies that make accessories for these consoles. And sometimes there's some leaks here and there. Sometimes we hear things that are then eventually debunked, and we nothing came about that. And this is actually kind of one of those stories that we heard about some stuff, and then it seems like those weren't actually true, but now some things are popping up again. It seems like Hanson is an accessory company. Nintendo Life talked to them, and they said they're kind of putting out these stuff. It's kind of secretive, but they can adjust it, the final products eventually, because they know this is happening. So they're kind of just working on stuff right now to kind of get it ready. But yeah, we don't really know nothing. Nintendo hasn't confirmed anything, but it kind of seems like from these production companies and accessory companies, it seems like things might be happening. Again, we don't know anything for sure, but anything in particular that I don't know. Do you think this is the final, like, I don't know, nail in the coffin, so to say, for you guys, like finally believing, like, yes, this is definitely happening. This is all I needed, or are you still a little, I don't know, skeptical that this is actually going to happen? What do you think, Greg?
I never really was against it like actually happening. I just didn't like the idea of having to purchase another console. I didn't think it was not going to happen at any point. I mean, they've really gotten used to doing these multiple iterations with like the 3DS that really proved that way through. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a Mini or a Pro, but obviously it'd be nice to get like a Pro one, but I don't know if it'll be worth the money that they'll want to charge for it. And then if they're going to try and segment again and only have certain games only on it, then they'll tie my hands in that way, which I don't hope that happens, but it probably will.
Yeah. Barry, it seems like a lot of people are thinking this is going to be that cheaper iteration, kind of like the 2DS of the 3DS line and everything. Maybe, if it would be a little more kid-friendly kind of device, something that's a little cheaper for the younger kids and stuff. Do you think these possible leaks, are they true, do you think, or...
I don't like to put much faith in these quote-unquote leaks, because while some of them, of course, have come true, some of them, and more often than not, have not. I do think there will be a Switch Mini, and I do think there will be a Switch Pro. When they come out, I'm not sure. I do think if we see a Switch Pro, will come this upcoming holiday. I think that they will position it to compete with the PS5 and the Xbox 2 or 4 or 1080 or whatever they're going to call it. I do think it would make more sense to lay it out. Like if they put out a Switch Pro this holiday, it would be more powerful, but it will be instantly passe by next holiday in terms of power. And they want to get as close to that as possible if they put out a Switch Pro. Switch Mini seems more likely to come out sooner because I don't think the Switch Mini will have updated capabilities. In fact, I think if anything, it'll be downgraded capabilities to keep it cheaper. Who knows? They might take things out. Like obviously, the Joy-Cons wouldn't detach. That means no IR camera. That means probably no HD rumble. Maybe no NFC chip reading support. Like really, just trim it down. I think they need to. If they do a Switch Mini, they need to launch it at $149.99 or cheaper. I think that's a pipe dream, but I think that's the smartest way to get in there. Definitely advertise it more towards children. The children's model, maybe do some kind of nerf thing like a case so to protect it from drops, maybe like a fold over like the old PDAs used to have where you had like the heavy leather that would come over the screen and you flip it back to protect the screen.
One of those on my current model.
Yeah, I know, I do too. In fact, I forgot all about them until I was unpacking our Zodiacs, and I was like, "Holy crap! I totally forgot the Zodiac had one of those. That's really cool. Why is this not on more platforms?" Yeah, I think it's possible. I don't know how good these leaks are. The reason I say that is I think it was Amazon Germany or Amazon Dutch or something like that has a listing for Banjo-Kazooie on the Switch. Like, okay, is this a leak? Is this just someone fooling around? Is this someone that saw the direct and didn't know what the hell they were doing, so they just programmed something in? No one knows. I don't take any stock in these leaks at all. It could be literally anything. I think we've had this conversation on here before about possible Switch Mini. I think we've predicted it multiple times in our beginning of the year shows that this is going to be the year we see a Switch Mini. I think if it happens, it's going to happen next year. I doubt it was going to happen this holiday. It could, but I doubt it at this point. It's too late. It's already almost July. But they could have this surprise Black Friday Switch Mini, go crazy, $149.99, and people are killing each other over the Switch Mini.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, I totally agree. I think they should definitely launch the Pro if it does in fact come before the Mini, for sure. Because I think it just makes sense for so many different reasons. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Before we wrap up and talk about a bunch of other stuff, like where we're looking forward to playing and all that things, I do want to remind everybody just one more time, if you haven't subscribed to NintendoFuse on YouTube or your favorite podcast app, make sure you do that. Make sure you hit that bell on YouTube to be alerted every time we post a new video and every time we go live. Hit that like button. That'd be really, really helpful for us to help other people find NintendoFuse channel, and that'd be really great. And be sure to connect with us throughout the week between podcasts and everything on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at NintendoFuse, and you can also find our Discord. And that link will be in the show notes as well. So yeah, let's talk about what we're looking forward to playing over the next couple weeks beyond Super Mario Maker. Is there anything else beyond Super Mario Maker, Greg, or is that pretty much it?
It's probably will be it. I mean, I might be revisiting some of the games that I've already played and talked about earlier today, but in terms of other new games, I'm probably not going to be getting anything in the immediate future, at least between Mario Maker and then Fire Emblem. But I don't know. I'll have to see if there's anything else that grabs my attention.
Yeah. Barry, I know you're gonna be pretty busy with some Final Fantasy and not Mario Maker, but anything else you might be playing, maybe?
My Bloodstained Kickstarter came in today for the Switch because, of course, the Switch version comes a week after the PS4 and Xbox One versions, and I paid $60 so it was really a $30 additional for a glorified slipcover, and supposedly some exclusive DLC, which isn't in the game yet. But I've been looking forward to this game a lot. I love Metroidvanias. I love the 2D Castlevanias, and I'm hoping to start it tomorrow and finish it by Thursday. So I'm going to try to put in a lot of time into it because once Friday hits, like all other games outside of Dragalia, and even that is going to take a hit. are going to go away for a little bit.
Oh, wow. All right. Looks like in the chat, Jakester wants to finish Hat in Time on Steam, and then he wants to go back to Xenoblade 2 in G+. And Ryan's looking forward to Bloodstained as well. So you guys can chat about Bloodstained, and also Hollow Knight and Enter the Gungeon. So cool. Looks like you guys are looking forward to some big games. Of course, I'm looking forward to Super Mario Maker 2. And I'm also looking forward to a little game that might take some time away called, it comes out on July 1st, called Redneck Skeet Shooting. Yeah, that's top of the list for sure. Yeah, that might be a game you definitely want to take a break from Final Fantasy for, Barry. Redneck
Do you know
Skeet Shooting.
Is that a sequel to the Redneck Wii games that are out?
I actually don't know. I just thought it was interesting when I was looking through the list, but I don't know if it is or
there are
not.
2 Redneck games on the Switch, on the Wii. So I'm curious if it's a sequel
On the Wii, but not the Wii U. They didn't make it over to the Wii U, huh?
No.
Speaking of which, Wii U got a system update, I guess, today. So update your Wii U. All 5 of you that are still playing it. Mine's still hooked up.
Mine's still hooked up.
It wasn't for a long time.
There's still some Mario Maker 1 challenges to check out, so you can get your skills all practiced for the new one. It includes Barry. Barry can load up the Wii U to play Mario Maker 1
Bloodstained
while he's waiting for
Bloodstained.
You can play
Kickstarted it.
Mario Maker 1 while he's number 1. Then.
Oh my God! What is wrong with you, Steve? My God, this trip to Hawaii is really screwed with your head.
Needed,
oh my God!
Wow.
Oh look, there's Roth.
Oh, Roth, you're at the end, man. Roth, how's it going? Quick, what are you looking forward to play this week other than Super Mario Maker 2? Tell us. And so, I'm looking forward to making some more progress through Let's Go finally as well. And I'll be playing through some of the other games that I've been playing recently too, and kind of finishing up some of those. Try to get a little further in Cuphead and revisiting some of those because I'll be writing some reviews about pretty much all the games that I've been playing recently. So, I got a lot of things to do before Friday when Mario Maker 2 comes out for sure, and then I'll just be busy playing all of Greg's levels. So get making them quick, Greg, because I'm gonna make like 3 or 4 and then call it quits.
Done.
Yeah, that's just how it's done. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us in the chat live. It's been awesome to chat with you guys throughout the entire episode. Again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. Hit that bell, hit the like button. That'd be awesome. Share us with others, and join us on social media, especially in Discord. We'd love to chat with you guys in between all the episodes. That'd be awesome. So, Greg and Barry, it's been always amazing to chat with you guys games tonight, especially some other things tonight. It was great.
Yes, you really have a good potty mouth tonight, Steve. We get that bar of soap. Someone get that bar of soap.
All right. Well, we'll see you. Our next podcast is going to be on July 8th, I believe. Is the next, not next Monday because it's July 1st, but July 8th. So right after America's Independence Day on July 4th. So I guess a happy early independence to all you Americans. And we'll catch you on July 8th on our next episode. See you then.
Have a great one, guys.
Take care.